Ball. Till the day that I die. Till the nigga get high. Ain't no harm in the side. Till I done gave it all I got for the city. I'ma ride, I'ma ride.
Okay, and we're back. And we're going to fall into the next question. We have Big Game James 36 joining us. And the next topic is the mania just a myth regarding Minshew? Will or should Minshew remain quarterback one if the Jags are 500 or better? Or will we bring Foles back when he's ready? I know you're ready.
First off, shout out to Toy. Yeah, hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. I don't want nobody to come across. My back is turned, but yes, yeah. They not benching. They're not benching him. They can't. It comes to a point where there's a lot of fan pressure, and this is somebody that they've been hoping for a while. He is. While Nick Foles is a good person, he's like a pediatrician. He's Melba toast. He's bland. He's Duke's mayonnaise. He's whereas I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying you like it, but it's not like it ain't ranch dressing. Like you're not gonna dip your wing in some Dukes. You're gonna dip it in some ranch. And Gardner is much more exciting and spicy. And we don't know what he's like. We don't know him. All we know is he got a mustache and he got them joints. So all the Florida fans love him off rip because of them. And he looked like the type of person that I want to go hang out with. Nick Foles looks like the type of person that'll take me to a really good Bible study on Wednesdays. I look like if I go with Gardner, we're gonna have something like The Hangover. It's gonna be an epic night, and that's what you want. So he gives you a little bit of that Brett Favre feeling. He gives you a little bit of, but he doesn't play like Brett. He plays more like Russell Wilson. He plays more like some of these other guys. But I was like, all right, I'm not gonna jump into this. I'm not gonna fall. The Jags will not break my heart again. Every time I want to believe, they do something that makes me have to curse them out and talk bad about them. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep my composure. But he did something. What he did on the goal line with his feet, he was just like should have been sacked 5 times.
A la Brett Favre.
And then Brett Favre would have thrown an interception after all that. That's why I said. But no, I'm just saying. My bad. The reason why I say he's not like Brett Favre is because for every Hall of Fame throw Brett Favre make, he make a throw that you just be like, it wasn't nothing but the other team over there. But I say Russell more so because what he does with his feet and he extending plays and he threw it. So I mean, again, I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. I can see why these people are getting excited. I hope to interview because I got some questions that just nobody else is gonna ask him that I just feel need to be asked. In particular about I would have done the Cam Soda thing. So Cam Soda, if y'all listening, I don't even know what it is, but apparently some kind of porn site. I'll do a fitness workout in my jock strap with a headband on for $1 million. I'd have done it for half. Actually, give me $250,000, give me $5 in the envelope, and I might make it happen. But bottom line is, I like the intrigue. I like what he brings to the table, and if he can continue to get better, the Jags can make a run, and they won't just backdoor because right now he's arguably the second best quarterback in the AFC South with a defense that has the ability to be a top 5 defense if they can get it together. Number one, I'm going to go with Deshaun, man. Yeah, Deshaun Watson's got to be number one. Brisket up in Indianapolis, nah. And then Marcus Mariota is a fraud. He should be arrested for even impersonating the quarterback because if he could throw it over 20 yards, the Titans would be a good football team. But the fact that he can't even really complete a pass, yeah, it's not fair. But right now, Gardner is probably the second best in the AFC South. They should be 3-1. Make sure I said that right. Yeah, they should be 3-1 if Douglas wasn't stupid and caught a bonehead decision going for 2. But I just think, actually, now that I think about it, it's really 3. You got Gardner at quarterback that is exciting. You got Leonard Fournette, who you don't know what you're going to get, but he's straight NOLA out of a juvenile video, like some of them cats. Like, real talk, I thought I was going to get jumped at the Under Armour All-American game because he went to St. Aug High School, my one of my best friends went there, a teammate, and my old business partner, Jaguar great Lonnie Martz, went to St. Aug. Now in New Orleans, they call them St. Aug. It's a rival they got, and one of my teammates, Tom Gardner, played there. They called them the Purple Punks.
Yeah.
So I see him. He come over there. He's before he goes to college, Under Armour All-American game. He come up. I said, "Oh, you from St. Aug, man? You play with them Purple Punks?" And then like all these people from New Orleans just came out. I think I seen Baby, Juvie, all them cats just came from up around me. And my shoulders I was like, hold up, man, nah. My boy TG used to call. They said, oh, TG from 54. And then they talked all that New Orleans slang. I didn't know really what they were saying, but it sounded polite, but you know it wasn't.
So you just sat there and
So,
nodded.
but again, you got him. You got, again, the Sassy Savage and Jalen over there. And then you got Lambo, who's a really exciting kicker, because that was clutch. That kick, was it 34 yards into a 22-mile-per-hour headwind? Yeah, so that's what you want. So they got all the pieces.
It's not pretending like we Nostradamus or we future tellers or anything like that. They play a game every Sunday because you never know what's going to happen. We at week 4. Let's focus on what's happened this past Sunday and what's going to happen next Sunday. It's no fun to you because you think you know everything. But actually, only if you don't know what guru means is he a guru. I got you. That's your husband. Stick up for him. That's black love. We love it. But I'm his friend. I speak objectively. You understand what I'm saying? Minshew is doing good right now. Let's watch it. Let's enjoy it. Let's not speak about what's going to happen a month from now, a month and a half from now. We winning right now. A month and a half from now, the Russians could come through and blow the whole Florida up. And we don't have no playoffs. We don't have no Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's just watch it. Why do we have to predict down the road? Because the fortunate thing about me being a Jaguar fan, I'm not the GM. I don't have to make that decision when Nick Foles comes back. I actually just get to put my jersey on, go down to the game, pop my bottle, grab my chicken off the grill, and turn up just like all the rest of the fans, because that's what a fan is supposed to do. You watch the game, you enjoy it. Move on.
With all the different elements that you name about the tailgate experience, not being the GM, one of the things you will be disappointed in if Nick Foles does come back to replace Mitch. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
On the play when Nick got hurt, Nick threw one of the prettiest balls I've seen thrown in Jaguar history. And that's all I got to go on right now. Okay. Let's do it like this. My father, for as long as I can remember, was a diehard San Francisco 49er. And this one I'm finna piss all y'all off. Diehard San Francisco 49er. So Alex Smith was leading them boys to a beautiful season. Alex Smith got hurt. They bring in this guy Kaepernick. Kaepernick comes in. He shows a little flash. He gets them in the playoffs. Next year, they sit my boy down. They give Cap this big contract. And I told everybody this was a huge mistake. Nobody wanted to believe it because everybody wanted to be pro-black, pro-Cap. Cap sent that franchise down a hole that they could never recover from. Why? Because people were caught up. Yes, they did. And guess that was his second year.
That was he did it back to back. He did it back to back. Cap did it back to
He
back.
did not do it back to back. He did it off the strength of that defense. He did it on the back of Frank Gore, the most shady, Frankie baby. You understand what I'm saying? They were a run-first team. Run first. It was smash mouth.
So you're telling me you like Alex Smith over Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah. What, I'm supposed to bite my tongue?
See,
I already said
once
it.
again, sir, sometimes you gotta shit on the pot
That way.
or either get up. Under your logic, Alex Smith would still have his job in Kansas City.
No, I didn't say
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
No,
yeah, he
I did
would.
not say that. You
Yeah.
are not going to
What's
put
the
words in my
difference?
mouth.
What's the difference?
I said Alex Smith was
Mahomes-
taking San Francisco
Check
on
this
a
out.
good ride. I didn't
We
say
at
anything
least
about what he
got
did
to
in Kansas
see
City.
what Cap would do in San Francisco. Andy Reid took a Mahomes who sat the whole year. We didn't even see him throw not nan pass and sent
We did.
Alex Smith packing. So by that, I'm saying Harbaugh seen something that he liked that Alex Smith couldn't give his team, and lo and behold, he went to the Super Bowl.
Lo and behold, Harbaugh does not work there anymore
Because
either.
he left. He didn't get
Lo
fired.
and
He got a
behold.
better job.
A better job where
At
he went
Michigan.
on to continue to lose.
It doesn't matter.
See y'all when I get back from the
It
bar.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He still got what he wanted. He won the game. You play to win the game.
I will support my brother in saying that I do think we take it one game at a time. Like,
No.
I don't want to.
No, we don't.
Like my brother here said, and again, as a reflection of last week's show, I don't want to get so hyped up until the disappointment, because that's what happens. We build so much confidence.
And them diehard fans that he was talking about.
Well,
The diehard.
I'm sorry, but
diehards.
I'm sorry. I'm Bruce
but
Willis.
if
I'm a diehard every time.
Listen, if
I'm a diehard every time. I'm
but
Bruce Willis.
here's the
Straight
thing.
up.
Here's the thing, Ro. We have died hard season after Bruce Willis has nothing on us.
Yes, he does.
No, he does not.
Shout out to Bruce Willis. Come holler at us.
Bruce Willis has nothing on us. We have died hard season after season. Let me remind you.
25 years, bro.
What's stopping
What did
y'all now?
Jalen say? We going to the Super Bowl and we gonna win?
That
Okay. So we did not win, and now and there
y'all
was a
went
whole
against
lot of
the
not even go back to
Patriots.
that, but there was
You know
a
what
whole
time
lot
it
of.
is.
We know there was a whole lot of non morale play calling going on in that game. Okay, but the next season, let's deal with the next season, which was last season. Okay, that's disappointments.
you can't fault the team for people having injuries. Natural.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can. It's got nothing to do. It's got nothing to do with that.
I can't
It's
fault
got
it.
everything to do
I can't
with
fault it because
not hiring, not drafting properly. Like you have, what I'm saying. Like Leonard Fournette has paper mache hamstrings. So what you don't do is can't get right. The special needs defensive tackle that literally even Florida fans were like, wait a minute, I didn't even know he was on my roster. So, like, I'm not even saying that. Cool. I mean, I would love Dalvin Cook. I would have loved to get him over that. But what you could have done is you could have got one Nicholas Chubb. You could have got Sony Michel. There was some running backs that you could have gotten, like you did now with Raquel Armstead, whatever the boy name is. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not great, but what I'm saying is you literally got somebody to when Leonard's not in, he's the exact same running back as Leonard, so you don't have to change your system. You could have done that. Or in the offseason, you do something like crazy, like go get a number one wide receiver, and not draft even though the second round he's good now. I like DJ Chark, but at the time, DJ Chark was drafted to be a special teams player. That's the only time we saw him. Was on punt return, and kickoff return, and not even returning the kicks, making tackles. That's what his thing was. So that's what you did, and again, that's why I believe that we give this Tom Coughlin or Dave Caldwell, whichever one you want to blame, because I don't believe Dave Caldwell does anything besides what he's told. But still money. He probably goes to work every day. I cannot believe these people are
still
paying
paying me.
Let
me ask you this.
Tom, what would you like me to do today, Tom? And he does whatever Tom tells him to do. So that's my thing with when they got the injuries. You don't have anybody to replace. Now, Karen Robinson, if we really look even on that third round playoff run, he really didn't provide you with a lot. He was decent for a rookie left tackle, but he still he still wasn't that great. And he got hurt. And now we saw when it was isolated. I'm trying to wrap my mind around I talked about it on a sports day yesterday. It's like the Kevin Hart skit when he talked about how he lost respect for his dad when his dad got beat up in the fight. When he was talking trash and trying to fight Chubb, I'm like, well, you should know you don't get to talk trash no more. Chubb been whooping you, he done punched you 5 times in the face before you could blink, and you think he an octopus out here. That's exactly what Chubb was doing to him. So, and I'm afraid more people are going to do that. But that's what you do. You find your weak spots and you continue to strengthen them. They have not strengthened the linebacker core. They just kind of went for the running backs. And I believe we backed into we might have backdoored ourselves into having a good wide receiver unit because Chark has taken that next step. Conley could provide you with something. Didi sometimes Didi can't get right too. It's like this. When I used to talk about it, the core, even on the playoff run, was a homeless dude, a wide receiver in Keelan Cole who didn't even know how he made the team or why he was there. He was just out there freestyling. Didi Westbrook didn't know what to do. You had Allen Hurns who was on concussion protocol, literally, because I believe there's something to it. I don't know. I have some issues with some of his people, but that's another story. But
Lord.
I want how you
Wait,
Not gonna
because
get into
this
that.
is going to lead
Not gonna
in.
get into
This
that.
is a question.
But-
What about Fournette? Are we fortunate to have Fournette?
I think Fournette's gonna be all right. I don't think he's gonna be in the league. He won't be here after his contract is done. But now the way he runs, it's not one. The way he runs the ball, he won't be worth it. Like we go get somebody else. Like he's a blind dog in the meat house.
If I get what I want, we gonna deal Fournette for one of them Belichick-like steals in the offseason, and we gonna draft Cam Akers. Let's go Florida State.
What you got to say?
I just want to say I love this podcast. I love it. I love it. I am absolutely in love with it. So many different personalities, so many different. Fournette, he actually did his thing in Denver. I was really impressed to see him step up, break a few tackles. He didn't look as fragile this game. But a lot of these players that we're talking about, with the exception of Jalen, are schizophrenic. We don't know who's coming.
Facts.
We don't know who's coming.
All facts. No fix.
I would, switching sports, Michael Jordan in the 90s, you knew who was coming. Period.
Until they played Detroit.
Well, no, hold on.
Actually, he said the 90s.
I
That
said in
shows
the
how young
90s.
you
I
are.
wasn't talking about late 80s.
Detroit stopped that in 88.
I wasn't talking about when Isaiah.
Stop when grown men talk.
I made
Stop when grown men talk.
I
Stop when
specifically
grown men
gave.
talk.
I specifically
He
gave
specifically said the
the
90s.
90s.
That
I
stopped
gave
at
that
88.
time dispensation of the 90s, not late 80s when
Thank
he
you.
had to come in and earn his stripe. They all had to come in and earn his stripes. But what I'm saying is, you knew who you were getting. With Fournette, I want to get about 7 more games of a Denver performance up under our belt for me to say, okay, consistently, I believe. I'm just being fair because I don't want him to come in and he tiptoeing and he's and then, you know what? Let's do this. We're 3 points away, or we're gonna go for the 2. Let's give it to Fournette when he ain't been in the end zone all game.
Dare I say that the passion was motivated by stats? Because even before the long run, he had gotten a couple holes that had netted him some nice yardage. And right when he popped that long one, I think he was already around 70, 72 yards. So he was actually on pace to break the little streak of running backs not getting 100 yards. He was actually on pace to break it. And then once he broke it, it was a different, as we mentioned, the fire was in his eyes. When he was ready to swing on Cam Robinson on the sideline, which I think we all was ready to swing on Cam Robinson. Everybody's about tired of it. But the fact that he was ready to swing on him, looking at it was a different Fournette. And it was like, okay, you got 225, and we actually got a shot to win, and Bonehead finna go do something stupid, so it could be that. Or could it also, this passion be, he was motivated. There hasn't really been any motivation for him this season. Prior to this, I think it's been 40 50. I don't think he got over 55 yards in a game this season. So
Yeah,
it
he was
really
good
wasn't
slacking.
any motivation. So dare I say that the stats, being able to look at the stat book, okay, now I have motivation. I have something to play for because as we all agree, after his contract is over, he's not here.
I don't want to make it seem like I don't like Fournette because I was on board when we drafted him. I wanted Dalvin, but I wasn't disappointed with Fournette. But like what you just said then kind of make him sound like a front runner. I don't know if I want to put that on him, but he got a lot of valid points, so I guess I ain't got no choice.
Hell no. My biggest thing was I heard Fournette make a comment earlier this week about the lack of playing time in preseason. I didn't know how valid you guys thought that was. That, he was trying not to get everybody hurt like last year, so he rested most of the starters. And Fournette was like his rhythm was off because, the line got a jail. Big Game can attest to this as a former fullback. The trust. You move here, I move here, with kind of unspoken rhythm. I don't know how much that affected him, but he claimed that was one of the big problems, and that's why they predicted, along with Remo, the breakout game against Denver. Well, if you look at it, he didn't play any preseason. That's what he's saying. So really the first game was my preseason, where normally I would have played 2, maybe 3 quarters preseason games to kind of knock the rust off.
It takes you 4 regular season games.
I'm just, yeah,
Stop that. They went to training and all that other stuff. There's no reason why it takes you 4 games to finally break for what? How many yards?
So why is it that it's taking so long for our offensive lines to come together?
I'm sorry.
So how long should it take?
It shouldn't take 4 weeks. That's crazy.
To develop continuity?
We're talking about
We're working on 25 years for a Jaguars offensive line. We're still working on continuity. It takes continuity, getting together and being on the same page consistently.
why does it take so long for you guys to pick up the pace?
From a
The
pure
Patriots never lose.
Why Matty Ice ain't won a Super Bowl?
from a purely schematic standpoint, their blocking scheme was way different. They went from an inside zone blocking scheme, which is very difficult to read for a guy like Leonard Fournette, who's not patient, and also when you don't have an offensive line who's never played together.
Right.
Like they have to, essentially, you have to trust the person to the right and to the left of you. All you need in the inside zone is one person to mess up. What they shifted to is what you call big on big. In a big on big situation, you can literally have somebody get their behind whoop, and actually it creates a gap. So a guy like Leonard Fournette, who's all downhill, can actually read that better. The bigger thing, too, that most people don't understand is like your passing game, how you have to stick with it, the running game the same way. So I was one of the people who was jumping down Leonard Fournette's throat on the Thursday night game. But he stuck with it, and then he finally broke that long run. Once he broke that long run, you fast forward to this week, it looked exactly the same as that. Now, he's not going to have every week where he's running 220 yards. That's just not realistic. But in the NFL, you're talking about a successful running game or running day for a running back is 70 to 75 yards. On 20 carries. If you do the math, if you average 75 yards a game, multiply that over 16, you're going to be over 1,000 yards, and 1,000 yards is still the standard. So it's just about what the expectations are and understanding it. His job, the Jags are a clock control team that plays defense, and they want to be able to flip the field on you. It was great to see us for the first time be able to come back from down 2 scores, but typically we want to be the team that's up 2 scores, and when we're up 2 scores, you're going to have to completely change your game plan, which goes right into our defense, because we're going to take 4 to 5 minutes every drive, and that's kind of what Fournette does. The reason why he probably won't be here is because takes a toll on your body, and he's not a Melvin Gordon type running back. He's not a Le'Veon Bell. He's not a guy like that who can get their runs and they're not going to take a lot of damage on their body. He's going to take a beating. But You just got to enjoy what you got while you got it, and then hope you find somebody different, which is why I like Baker. Baker is able to throw the ball. One, there's a couple things that he does very great. He throws the ball forward. That's amazing. He throws it in a spiral, which is epic. It's a consistent spiral. We call those Blake Bortles passes them Hennessy bottles. The ball's not supposed to wobble like you wobbling out of the club at 3 o'clock in the morning, like you leaving the real team after you had a couple dirties. Like when the ball wobbles, it's very difficult to catch it because you don't know where it's going to be at, and you're going to hand placement. If it's spiral and it's straight, it makes a wide receiver happy. Plus, he places it in the right manner. So, I mean, all in all, everything together is what. Together they're good. None of them are like you might have a whole bunch of Pro Bowlers if they continue the same effort and can say the same thing. But really, if you pull one person out right now, none of them are great. Like if Leonard doesn't finish the season, this team doesn't look the same. Yeah. If you put the pediatrician in, it completely changes the whole dynamic of the team because nobody cares about like. Just the way they play around him is just his energy. And if the Sassy Savage isn't out there tasting his words and when he's talking trash to these wide receivers and like telling them he's gonna take their girl purse shopping or something, whatever it is that he says that gets under people's skin, we need him doing that because AJ, we don't like I said, I want.
Hey man, y'all go get all AJ. AJ been playing good lately, man.
No, I'm not AJ. I would love to know what he said. I promise you, he told AJ Green, "I'm gonna take your wife purse shopping, and we're gonna go get matching dresses or something like that."
GAGA.
It was something wild. It was something wild like that because it was just I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like I'm gonna take your old lady or whatever because that's just not his cup of tea.
GAGA.
But I'm talking about AJ Boye 2.1 because I just think he's just
man. Come on.
He's probably a great person.
Come on, man.
A phenomenal man.
Ease up on my man, boy. Yeah.
I just don't think he's any good at corner. I mean, it's just like he's like an ugly. He's an ugly child. You're gonna say, man, he is dressed cute.
Very. Such a great personality. Such a great guy.
Hopefully, nobody has ugly children. All children are beautiful.
You're also a Falcons fan, so I mean, hey.
We're going to move on in to the next question. And I'm pretty sure that I think we talked about this, James, when you were on the first time about the NCAA. Is it dying? And now that California has passed that law and Florida's looking to do the same.
Yeah.
Do you think that the day of the college and the NCAA and the way they're doing business now and them about to pay players, is it changing the game for good, the better, or worse?
I mean, I don't know. It's the most American thing in the world. Nobody does anything until it fiscally affects you. Slavery wasn't stopped because a bunch of white people said that they wanted to get together and just do the right thing. No, it was because fiscally it was about to mess up everything. So they needed to figure it out, and unfortunately there was a war that got caused by it. But same thing with integration, same thing with a lot of the stuff. It's the most American thing is when the green is messed up, people are going to do the right. They're gonna straighten up and fly right, whether it takes blood or whether it takes talking it out. And ironically, the arguments that are being had about this aren't even like valid arguments. It's about paying players, but it's not from a college institution. It's about kind of what you do if you're in radio or if you're anything else. Like when people talk about equal and uneven pay, I'm going to tell to the next self. Frank Frangie gets paid a lot more money than I get paid. And is it fair? I don't really care. It's his show. He runs it. He gets paid. I get paid what I get paid by what I bring in. It's literally I'm paid off my likeness. Like tonight I'm going to go on the show and argue with a bunch of people about young African-American and mostly because it's 70% men getting paid off of their likeness. And a bunch of people who listen to me because of my likeness and how I get paid are going to tell me that it's wrong for another human being to get paid off of their likeness. That makes absolutely no sense. It's not the school. It's not my degree is not worth the paper that it was printed on if it doesn't guarantee me a job. See, the thing is that the right thing can be done, right? So you don't want to pay them. You can back loans. Florida State, like my university, is a multi-billion-dollar industry by itself. supports a ton of people. They can literally just say, we're going to give you a $25,000 loan every year, or we're going to give you a $25,000 loan over the course of your playing along with your scholarship. And if you pay it, great. If you don't, great. That's very simple. That's me not being a paid millions of dollars or being a doctorate of giving you an example. You can also take, there's many ways that you can pay. You can do it for everybody. But a lot of people are talking on amateurism and on getting paid for your likeness without understanding that it's already done in other countries, and the Olympic sports are the ones that are going to really benefit the most than football players. We're in the South, so all we know about is football. ESPN's dominated by football and basketball. Yeah. But what you don't understand is that Michael Phelps, when he stands in his underwear with a little cap on, to wear that cap in them draws, he is paid to wear that cap in them draws. So you know what they're going to do for the swimming team at Florida State? They're going to pay people to wear the cap in their draws. When it comes to tennis rackets, when it comes to baseball, like if you look at what minor league baseball players get paid, they get paid for their gloves, they get paid for bats, they get paid for not the hat, because that's typically what the cleats. There's so many different ways that you can get paid. But I look at myself. I was a player that people like at Florida State, but I wasn't the biggest time player, but I was from Tallahassee. You know what I would have done to get paid? I'd have went to Shingles Chicken Shack, which was my Goddaddy restaurant, and now I can legally eat for free at my Goddaddy's restaurant because I can get paid for my likeness. I could go to Chubby's and say, listen, on Saturday nights, me and my boys will come through. Can you give me $500 or $1,000 in the VIP section for every night that I come in? You are stupid if you don't believe that these kids are enterprising. These kids have YouTube channels. They are blue check mark young men. They are 20,000 followers. I got the death sentence on Twitter last week for something stupid, whatever. I was almost at 10,000. I wasn't mad because they banned me and I couldn't do it. I was mad because I know what 10,000 followers means. When I put out my SoundCloud, when I put out I'm selling shirts, when I put it out I'm doing something, there's 10,000 people who are going to see that who will now pay me for my likeness, and I ain't got the platform. So if I'm a prep star, I'm a 4-star, 5-star prospect coming out, you think I'm not going to try to negotiate a contract with Adidas and Nike? Adidas cheating now. Adidas and Nike cheating now. What the hell you think is going to happen when they actually can do it for real? The bag man that everybody thinks that they know about, the bag man will flourish in this system because now I could give you $250,000 to come to Bama and not have to worry about it and just say it's a marketing check. Basically. And when people argue this, I always say this. When I started sports radio, and I got an Army check, marketing check, I didn't know, and mine are on the small end. I didn't know checks came that big. I didn't know, like when somebody paid me for a full year of marketing up front, I hadn't seen a check that big since I played in the league. The thing is that let these young men get paid or do the right thing. Like, that's the problem, is just people don't want to do the right thing because of what – it reminds me of what my mom talked about when she went to a HBCU, and the kids are still talking about not getting a financial aid check on time. Still not. You shouldn't have to deal with the same struggles that somebody dealt with in the 80s because you went through it. That's BS. My son won't go through the same things that I went through because I went through it. I should want better. I want better for all the people who have played after me because I can't recoup that money. And when people were crying about the NCAA video game being stopped, I didn't. I cashed my $6,000 check with pride. Now I kind of want to play the game, but I also remember I cashed my $6,000 check with pride. It went on some shoes. It went on something frivolous too. I bought a whole bunch of shoes. The point is that if they'd gave me that damn money when I was supposed to get it, again, they can have the video game. Pay the players, and now you can have the video game. Yeah. I'm sorry, my bad. It's long-winded, but pay the players.
Till the day that I die, till the nigga have, ain't no harm in the side. Till I done gave it all I got for the city, I'ma ride.